Hello and welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are discussing about some of the major electoral reforms that have occurred in India since independence. Okay? So, since independence, some of the major electoral reforms we will be discussing under different phases. So, the first major reform was brought when we had a very important chief election commissioner by the name T.N. Session. T.N. Session was appointed as Chief Election Commissioner in the period between 1990 to 96. So, the first reform, electoral reforms was introduced under T.N. Session himself. Okay. And these reforms were, first, voting age was reduced. Earlier, it was 21 years. So, if a person would have reached 21 years, so from then onwards, they could have started voting. But this was brought down to 18 years under him. Okay. Secondly, to take elections very seriously and the candidature to take very seriously, it was introduced that there must be some proposers. If a person is candidating for or fighting for the elections in either Rajya Sabha or Legislative Council, then there must be proposers that I propose that this person is eligible to become an MP to Rajya Sabha or MLA to or MLC. Okay? So, proposers were introduced. Then 1996 तक में major reforms before 1996 तक में adjournment of polls or countermanding elections. So if it has been observed that there was some malicious activity taking place on the polling booth, ठीक है? In that case, I'll be adjourning the polls itself or countermanding elections. This was introduced in 1989. ठीक है? And photo ID card of electors was introduced in 1993. So, the photo ID card in which the name of the person, date of birth and all that along with the photo is mentioned, that was introduced in 1993. ठीक है? But these were the major reforms till 1996. What about the reforms after 96? So, after 96 or exactly in the year 1996, there was a committee which was created under the chairmanship of Dinesh Goswami. So, Dinesh Goswami committee said that we should be having candidates should be categorized into these three categories. First is a political party. So, the candidate should be belonging to a political party or can be an independent candidate or can be registered, can still fight for elections under an unregistered party. ठीक है? So, a candidate can fight for elections under an unregistered party, so the party is not registered, or the person can fight independently or within a political party. ठीक है? Secondly, Dinesh Goswami committee also said, and it was accepted, कि disqualification, if a person or a candidate is doing some insult to the National Honours Act, so under this National Honours Act, disqualification will be carried out for 6 years. ठीक है? Plus, if the candidate, if they are not sponsored, the candidate election of that candidate is not sponsored, then we will be having 10 registered electors. Then this was a mandate कि if you are not getting any fund, so there must be some proposers, and who should be proposing you? The electors themselves. 10 registered electors, if they are proposing you, then also we can allow you for the contesting elections. Plus, contestants are restricted to 2 constituencies. So, now you can only fight for maximum of 2 constituencies. Otherwise, earlier they continued to fight for multiple constituencies. Some 4-5 seats they used to own, out of which they will continue with that. ठीक है? So, now they were restricted to fight for elections from maximum 2 constituencies. ठीक है? These were the reforms in 1996 under Dinesh Goswami committee. Then in the period between 96 to 2003, postal ballots were introduced. In the period between 1999, postal ballots were introduced. So, a distant election can also be carried out. Plus, for armed forces, proxy voting was permitted. Proxy voting matlab, because armed forces will not be able to vote from their registered constituency. So, for them proxy voting will be allowed. They can still vote from there, sitting in their deputed posts, contesting or supporting any candidate from their constituency. ठीक है? Plus, Candidates must disclose the information on matters of if there has been any recorded cases and the person was convicted, the candidate was convicted. So they must report that to ECI. Plus accusations must also be reported. Assets and any liabilities must also be reported. Okay? So how much amount of property do you own? What are the loans that you have taken? How much you need to repay? All of this needs to be reported by the candidate to the ECI. Plus free supply of electoral rolls and travel exemptions. So travel exemptions matlab your expenditure on travelling will not be counted. Okay? Plus whatever be the amount of electoral rolls required. For example, you need to go and convince that please vote for me, carry out campaign, or distribute some of the other freebies. So for all of it, electoral rolls will be provided to you, and to whatever extent you want, that will be provided to you. Okay? To the candidate. Plus allocation of sharing of time on media and cable to each candidate so that they can carry out digital campaigning. This was also permitted in between 96 to 2003. Okay? Plus whatever be the donations to the political party, if it is more than 20,000 and you want to claim for tax benefit, then you must report all such donations to the political party. So for example, I am a corporate person and I want to donate to the political party. If I am donating more than 20,000, okay, so I can report it to the ECI and claim the tax relief. Okay. So these reforms were introduced between 96 to 2003. What about between 2003 to 13? So between 3 to 13, there was a prohibition to conduct exit poll. What is an exit poll? Exit poll matlab if a person has voted and came out of the election poll area, poll booth, and then the media cannot go and ask them whom did you vote. So this is an exit poll because this redirects the rest of the population to vote for that political party or not vote for that political party. So it carries out campaigning on its own if the exit polls are conducted. Okay? Plus 3 months time limit was provided. So if you want to register for disqualification of any candidature, then this must be registered. This case must be registered within 3 months. Beyond 3 months, this will not be permitted. Plus increase in security deposits were carried out. Okay? To take the elections very seriously. What has been the reforms in 2013? Okay? In 2013, application for electoral roll now will be carried out online. So now we can fill the form online that I need a EPIC number, I need a voter ID number to vote, and the voter ID card has now been linked to Aadhaar card. Okay? Secondly, none of the above option was added. NOTA was added in EVMs, and under this NOTA, that if a person votes for NOTA, that means they are saying that none of the above candidates that are mentioned on EVM are suitable candidates for ruling. Okay? Plus introduction of VVPAT. VVPAT stands for Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trail. So every time you press a button on EVM, there will be a device through which you can see whom did you vote, so that we can verify whether the EVM is working fine or not. Okay? So earlier EVM tampering was one of the blames that was being faced. That means EVMs are not working properly. Any button you press, it will be giving vote to only one single political party. That was the claim made by those political parties who were discussing about EVM tampering. So this can be nullified through VVPAT. Okay? Ensuring that whichever political party have you voted or pressed on EVM, that usi political party, on that political party only the votes have been added. Okay? Plus allowed people in jail and police custody to contest. So the contestants now can be in police custody also or in jail also. Okay? They can still fight for elections. But unfortunately in India, a election candidate can be sitting in jail or can be in police custody. But a person, if a common man is sitting in a police custody or jail, he or she is not allowed to vote. Okay? Plus, one of the another reforms which was introduced in 2013 was convicted MP or MLA. If the charges have been proved against an MP or MLA, then they will be immediately disqualified. Okay? Plus, maximum ceiling on election expenditure was also changed up to 95 lakh for a Lok Sabha constituency. So, one candidate in one constituency can spend a maximum of 95 lakhs. in a Lok Sabha election, whereas in a legislative assembly ke election mein one candidate in one constituency, maximum 40 lakhs can be the expenditure. So this was the ceiling limit introduced. These were the reforms introduced till 2013. Now still Election Commission of India has kept on seeking more and more electoral reforms. So because this is an evolving process and we are one of the world's largest democracy, so we need to keep updating and keep changing ourselves. Okay? So what are the current challenges that we are still facing in case of elections being conducted in India? First is booth capturing. So there are so many cases. Last year West Bengal, maybe there were some elections which were being carried out in which violence at polling booth was being carried out. Okay? So violence was witnessed at polling booth. So there has been such news reports that the polling booths have been disturbed, have faced violence, or let's say a particular constituency was supposed to vote for a political party, let's say A. Okay? And there was violence at that polling booth. So all the votes that was going to the political party A would be lost. Okay? Second is, another challenge being faced is criminalization of politics. Now currently with the standing MPs and MLA, there are 40% of MPs who have a criminal record, and out of which 25% have serious cases of criminal records. And despite of ECI saying that we cannot give political party should not be giving candidature or tickets to such people who have a criminal record, political parties have not paid sufficient heed to it. Okay? There is an ECI mandate, please do not allocate party tickets to such candidates who have serious criminal records, but still political parties are doing this. Okay? Plus violation of model code of conduct. So model code of conduct comes into action the day ECI has announced the dates of elections. So ECI 6 to 8 months earlier will come with the allocations ki this area mein 3 phases election, this area mein 2 phase election, on this date elections will be carried out. All of this announcement is made by ECI, and as soon as the announcement is made, we say that the country has come into the phase of model code of conduct. Once model code of conduct begins, then public spaces, then ECI comes into picture. Now there should be complete transparency in campaigning. Okay? So despite of all of this, there has been illegal use of public spaces such as educational institutions and hospitals, and money for vote. This is also very much common, that there is huge flow of money during election year. Okay? In the constituencies. Okay? Plus electoral finance. Electoral finance may we studied ki there is a ceiling limit 95 lakhs for a Lok Sabha constituency. Any candidate per constituency cannot spend more than 95 lakhs. Okay? But this is heavily violated. Okay? Plus electoral overspending. So whatever be the limits of travel expenditure will not be party to this 95 lakhs. Still there is excessive spending being carried out by the candidates. Okay? Plus use of caste and religion card. So because I will seek vote on the basis of caste or on the basis of religion. These are some of the existing challenges despite of several electoral reforms being carried out in India. Okay? So these are the challenges that are being faced. So these were some of the major reforms that we witnessed with evolution. These are with evolution of elections in India. These are the electoral reforms that we have seen, and these are some of the pending challenges. So if we need to write the way forward, we can write about these challenges as a solution only. So we need to deal with some strict laws seeking vote in the name of caste or religion, and some strict laws for violation of electoral financing being breached. Okay? So that can be the way forward. Okay? Now with that we come to the end of this topic. I wish you all the very best and thank you so much.